one of y'all for helping us celebrate Ready to Die album. Thank you. Hip-hop ain't never gonna be the same because of this man right here. Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G. You got something to say? Brooklyn, we did it.
No. Notorious. Dude, I cannot wait for this. This is a Duran Duran biopic, right?
If this had been the Duran Duran biopic, I would have gotten up early to go see it.
See, he's saying what you would have been saying had you gone to see the screen and like a bunch of black people in the theater. No.
Except without the Notorious part.
Yes.
Yeah. This is what? This is
Tore your ass up is what it would have been.
This is about the Notorious Big?
Yeah, the big guy, right?
Yeah.
The guy that Puff Daddy always used to, give it up to Big.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got it.
The very same one.
These guys ain't as white as you said they were.
Oh, no, they are.
So is this the same as Biggie Smalls, or was that him after he went on a diet?
Man,
that was like a before-after picture.
It's one of those rap names. Apparently,
yeah, a rapper can't have just one name.
Yeah.
If you stick around long enough, you have 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yeah, like Sean Puffy Combs ended up being Puffy, a nice poofy.
P. Diddy,
Puff
Daddy,
P. Diddy,
Donkey Kong now, whatever.
Yeah.
Then, so
Poodle Massager,
Pootie
something.
Tang.
So,
Next will be Padat.
All of that. He went by several names. He was Biggie Smalls. He was Notorious B.I.G. He was Biggie.
Wait, B.I.G. What does that stand for?
Big.
I don't know.
Then it's big.
That is funny. That is like, it's B.I.G. Like it's an acronym.
Yeah.
You're like, what does that stand for? Well, it stands for big. Okay, what does the I stand for?
And notice I looked at him. I was like,
oh no, punk.
I was going to tell him.
I wonder why he died.
Yeah, exactly. I looked at you and I was like, shut up, man. I don't know.
Hey, look, it's Notorious Cap. Hard to miss a target that fucking big.
Well, he went by several names, but his real name was Christopher Wallace. That's the name his mama gave him.
That's his punk name.
That would have been a hardcore rapper name, dude. Give it up for Christopher Wallace.
CW.
The CW.
Yeah, the CW. And it's funny because nobody knows, but Biggie Smalls was the villain in Little Caesar.
No. It was
Black Caesar.
Uptown Saturday Night.
Was it Uptown Saturday
Yeah.
Night? It wasn't Black Caesar?
No. It was Uptown Saturday Night. That was Biggie
that
Smalls.
I'm sorry, the one with back when Bill Cosby was cool.
Yeah. Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. They made like 3 action kind of gangster comedies.
You're not talking about Christopher Wallace, then. You're talking about a guy whose name was
that
actually
name
Biggie
itself.
Smalls. Okay.
It was a character. It was a character in a movie.
I see.
It's
Okay.
much like Duran Duran was a character in a
The
movie.
whole thing is very confusing to me.
Can
I know.
I be Petey Wheatstraw? Can that be my black
No,
name?
you're white, so you have to be DJ Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah, it's like we need to hold a class for you on black names. Don't get us into like the girl names, Shaniqua and Lakeisha and all that kind of shit.
Where they just look at the ingredients at like bathroom cleansers and go, oh yeah, that's a good name.
This has Lakeisha in it.
Vagina. What a pretty name. Like Virginia without an R.
Yeah, that girl's name is pseudoephedrine.
So, for those of you who don't know, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., he was the protege of Puff Daddy, Poof Daddy.
Is that his new name now?
So this is a story of how Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G., came off the streets, got his street cred for being able to rhyme and rap, and then was taken up by Puff Daddy, Sean Puffy Combs, and then went on to be one of the greatest rappers there's ever been known.
Arguably.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been one of the most popular rappers, but greatest?
Yeah, he was the biggest.
I'm telling you, man.
I can't hold
as good as
myself.
50
I can't hold
Cent.
to that.
Within the rap community, I'm telling you, he is seen as one of the greatest rappers out there. It's whenever you want to talk about now, there's tons of rappers out there. It's like they just crawling out the woodwork. But if you talk about some of the greatest, you're gonna hear Tupac and you're gonna hear Biggie Smalls.
Now, you hear that by these youngsters today, but in my day, it was Curtis Blow. It was the Sugar Hill Gang.
Fab Five Freddy.
Thank you.
I thought he was going to go.
Grandmaster
Back in my
Flash.
day, it was Calloway,
Well,
Count
okay.
Basie.
I mean, to be honest, it was Oscar Brown Jr. and Gil Scott Heron.
What happened to Blondie?
Shut up.
But no, it's so this isn't very different from what you see with such biopics as Walk the Line, Ray.
I mean, these all have a formula. I mean, that's my thing about these movies now. It's like Ray, man, Ray was great, but it was like the best of those kind of things. And then by the time Walk the Line came up, you're like, this is good too, but it's sort of the same thing. And then finally, John C. Reilly made that movie Walk Hard, which is just like, okay, look, y'all, these are all the same. Stop making them.
But the bright side, when it comes to at least B.I.G., he's got a hell of an ending.
Well,
Because
that's
Ray and Johnny Cash,
they just kind of peter out.
Yeah, they just kind of got old.
Well,
this guy said, "Fuck it, I'm going out hard."
Well, that's the thing. Those guys are like, they were successful at living, so they wouldn't have time to tell their full story.
The advantage here is there's no third act. You're just like, they go out at the best part, which is when they're really addicted to drugs. You know?
I mean, it really is like, wow, my whole life I've been a shithead, choking women and selling drugs and just being an asshole in general. And now I get it. I'm going to be a man. Well, I tried.
Now, see, when you told me, keep in mind, Leon went to go see this, and apparently they took a bus through a war zone to go to the theater. I mean, they had little kids throwing rocks and bazookas being shot at the bus.
Hey, that's my experience with Brooklyn. It's like, wow, not that different from Beirut.
Y'all were eating meat pies made out of humans. So, I mean, seriously. So,
well, human. It was actually Soylent Green,
which is people.
I don't want to hear that.
It was made out of ghetto people, which nobody really reports about. Yeah. So, so when he's telling me about this, his experience with the movie was totally was different, I guess, than mine, because when he said, "Yeah, man, Notorious B.I.G. he was in the movie, he was beating women up, he was selling crack to pregnant women and not giving a shit," and I was okay. So
what did I say that was wrong?
Okay, now in the movie, I'm sitting there nervous. Every time he was around a woman, I was expecting him to pick her up and throw out the window. B.I.G. hate bitches. And I was like, oh shit. But he didn't lay a hand on anybody. He went through a door because he thought that his wife was cheating on him with his mortal enemy who was tripping on him at the time anyway, because he didn't know what was going on. He thought she was cheating on him. He broke down the door when she wouldn't answer. He's like, what is this? What is you cheating on me? At most, he's like guilty of holding a magazine very close to a woman's face threateningly.
After she cheated on him?
No, she didn't. She didn't. She's just doing her thing. And he gets it in his head that she did, and he comes busting through a wall like the Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah, bitch!
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
And he's got her jacked up. The way she's like, I didn't do nothing. Oh,
she hit. No, see,
okay, never mind.
She ran into a room, and he ran in there after, and she locked the door, and his friend came in like, Biggie, man, Biggie, come on, man. And he was like, okay.
And you know that's a lie. You know in real life, that guy had to pull her off of him.
I was going to say, now, didn't you say to me, Leon, that when you went there was a lot of the actual people from his life who were like there?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that.
Well, you had one guy who was like one of his best friends who was with him the whole time.
Right.
Who was there.
Okay.
And then I guess the director, his mama was there.
Oh, if his mom was there, then you know it was cleaned up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no way they would have invited her.
And even his mama, after seeing the movie, she was like, damn, she was the one condemning him. She said, I do not like the way my son treated women. I didn't raise him that way.
Because what he did was, he was one of those guys who, he had multiple children from different women. So one
of those guys.
What a great guy. I'm so glad they did a bio about him.
And about him selling crack to pregnant women, you can't say that was not in the movie.
And they had, now I'm not going to tell what happened, but they had now keep in mind, I don't know, were you there? First of all, you act like you were there to see Biggie Smalls do all this. You like, man, I was there. I know he was beating women. I seen it with my own eyes.
I seen him.
You've been a film critic for a long time, and you know that with every biopic, they clean it up some. No matter what these people are into, even if they show how bad it could be, they always clean it up a little bit.
Negro, I wasn't there with Biggie Smalls when he was doing all that. I'm just saying, I'm going by the movie.
Okay, if I made a movie about you doing that, but you didn't actually do it, wouldn't that be kind of messed up?
If this was in court and they said, did you hit that woman? And we see on this film that you did not, but did you do it? And you come in and like, well, judging by how men usually are, they'd be like, nope, that's not evidence enough. That don't prove
I don't
anything.
know what court would use a biopic as evidence.
I just want to see the movie where Corey picks up a chair and lightly puts it back down.
Exactly. Yeah, when they make the Spill movie, Corey will pick up the chair like he's going to throw it, shake for a little bit, and then gently set it down.
And it will be a movie about me abusing a chair. What you looking at? What you looking at? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No, that's what I'm saying. Now, you just proved my point. what kind of person would use a biopic to use that against them in real life? I'm going by this movie now.
But see, okay, look, if this was a movie made by people who didn't know him, who just wanted to tell a juicy story, then I'd be like, man, they probably exaggerate some of that. But this was all made by people who love this guy.
The opposite of a smear.
They wanted to like show you like what a cool dude he was, and they still had to put in like a lot of fucked up abusive shit that he did.
Well, there's only so much you can do without being like a Hallmark card, you know? It's like, come on, people aren't going to buy if you know, them taking out everything crazy he did, because the dude was on TMZ every other day, right?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, what are you going to do?
I got a question for you guys. I hear you arguing this back and forth. Is the movie any fucking good?
There you go. There's a question.
Well, see, this is where we differ. That's what I'm leading up to, because I think you saw something different in it than I did. And I'm actually a fan of Notorious B.I.G. I kept up with all that East Coast, West Coast
I'm more of
shit.
a Biggie fan myself.
But I love Tupac. So is this on now?
I like
Well, considering
Seals
the way
and
those two
Cross.
guess ended up, I don't want to have any beef with you.
It's kind of like the east side of the room versus the west side of the room right here.
I'm a big fan of T-Rex and Kiss.
Oh man, I'm all about T-Rex.
Oh, he's
Mark
like,
Bolan, bring it.
I know.
Geddy Lee, best bassist ever.
I like it. It's gonna be Cyrus is a Barry Manilow fan versus Cargill, who's a Neil Diamond fan.
Nah, I'm a Neil Diamond man myself all the way.
Yeah, see, and I Carlisle, am the Barry Manilow fan.
So
Okay, well, I'm sorry I had it backwards. You're gonna shoot each other either way.
we're gonna shoot him now. We're gonna team up east and west against
Cabana.
north or something.
Okay, so
I don't know.
let's go ahead and go over the review here. I mean, see what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of this stuff I knew they saw. Everybody still, there's a lot of people who still think that like Biggie Smalls has something to do with Tupac's death,
Right, and there's also that faction who doesn't care.
Yeah, and
that'd be me.
And then, but what I'm saying, so this is the movie made for that audience that does care, that's into hip hop. This is. You have people who in the Ray, because it's the same thing as Ray. Ray Charles did fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Cash did a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And Ray and Biggie Smalls did a lot of the same thing. Now, this is for people who are into that scene and into hip hop. This is their movie, not
Right.
anybody else.
Right. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And so if you were into them, not only is it a good movie, but it tells you a lot of things that people should know. That out of this whole thing, as much as I love Tupac is fucking crazy. And he was the one that was stirring up a lot of shit with Biggie Smalls, even though they had these raps that went back and forth where they were like talking about going at it with each other.
Yeah.
He was the one on the side who was kind of like, I really don't know what this dude is all about. I was hanging out with him at one point, and the next moment he snapped. So it clears up a lot of that stuff about Biggie Smalls and all these rumors. But other than that, I mean, let's forget the fact that what went on in real life. Let's take it as a movie here. Yeah, not one of the greatest biopics ever made. Not really that different from the pattern that we just of the previous films we just mentioned. But as far as showing you a hip hop biopic about a guy who did come to grow, realize what it takes to be a man, and was tragically had his life ended very short. I think not only is it on par with those other movies, but for people who are fans of hip hop, it is probably somewhat better.
Well, okay. I mean, like I said, with any movie, if you're into that subject, then it won't require much for you. And to me, I think a good biopic is something like you might not know anything about this person, but then by the time you're done watching, you're like, wow, I realize why everybody was into him and what made him so important and the huge contribution this person made to their art form. And with this, I didn't dislike the movie. I actually, like I said, I enjoyed the performances of the actors who I didn't know. I thought and especially that kid who came out of nowhere to
Jamal Woodard.
Yeah, Jamal Woolard. I got to interview him, and he was great. And I thought they made a good choice. He brought this to life. But overall, for me, watching this movie, not knowing that much about Biggie, I'm like, okay, this guy, he was not a great guy. He might have been funny, but he wasn't a good person. He got one album off before he died. And as much as everybody talked about, oh man, his music changed the world, I'm like, I just don't hear it. To me, I hear him rapping over a lot of other songs that I knew already, but there was nothing I heard. There was nothing that impressed me. Whereas with Ray and Johnny Cash, even more so Ray Charles, over the course of his life, it's stuff I didn't know, but I was like, wow, this guy was really important. He made some huge strides and has a huge catalog of music. You understand his importance.
Are people still killing each other from the East-West thing? Is that
No,
still going on at all?
Is
that because of the Notorious B.I.G.?
What this? It started with Tupac and Notorious B.I.G.
But did he end it?
It did slow down right after that. A lot of people said this is dumb, and both these guys are gone.
So basically, by being shot is how he changed everything, not his music or any talent.
Well, no, I mean, like I said,
that makes him the Jesus Christ of music. Okay, he went around and said some cool shit, and people were like, "Yeah, that's cool." But when he got nailed to a tree, that's when everybody said, "Whoa, this guy's pretty fucking cool."
Yeah, but nobody said, "Hey, dude, we're gonna have to shoot you to save."
I don't want to hear nothing out of you. You're the kind of person that looked at Stevie Wonder and said, I don't get it. He's just a guy.
How do you not get Stevie Wonder?
Not the same
but
thing.
No, and I will tell you this. I do think that people can look at this and not know anything about him and can see a movie about a guy that started out kind of hard and not only saw the things that he did that most people would consider wrong, but actually saw why he did it. And then they could see kind of where he started to change.
You still hustling? So you don't get it twisted. I'm not against making money. My business is about the streets, but my business ain't in the streets. And I can't be building nothing around no artists and get locked up any minute.
I'm saying, if you got real paper coming my way, I'm out the game.
Don't chase the paper, chase the dream. I started off as Andre Harrell's assistant. Now I'm damn near running this place. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. You can throw me butt naked in the jungle and I'll come out with a chinchilla coat, a leopard hat, and 10 pounds heavier from eating them. With all due respect, Puff, dreams ain't paying the bills, Jay.
His do. Puffy, I don't know about a chinchilla, but if you throw me out to the jungle, I had them dancing. Maybe in the right hands, I could be like one of the greatest.
How old are you?
19.
By the time you're 21, I'll make you into a millionaire.
See, for me, this showed the conditions in his life that led to a lot of his actions. I mean, a lot of times he was just trying to get by. And this is no different than watching someone like Ray Charles or Johnny Cash, who both abused drugs and treated the women like shit, but went on to find some enlightenment.
Well, speaking as that person that you're trying to describe, I can tell you that it didn't come off that way to me.
But see, I came at the movie and I talked to Hi and I pulled him aside because I didn't think he liked it. And I said, Hi, you're not into hip hop. You don't know anything about this guy. And he said, I didn't, but I really like watching that guy, and I really like watching this movie, and I think I learned something about him. Now, I'm not doing this to defend my point. I'm telling you, this coming from a guy who didn't know anything about him and said kind of opposite of what you're saying. So, I mean, it can be a mixture of people who like this movie. I dislike this movie.
Yes, absolutely true. And I think Carlisle made a good point, comparing him to Jesus Christ. I like, wow, that is something to consider. I mean, but when you talk about his reasons for doing what he did, it's like, okay, he was a straight A student who just looked around and was like, man, all these other kids have new sneakers. I want to get new sneakers too. Screw school. I'm going to start selling drugs. And I'm like, that's not a compelling reason to me.
See, I didn't see that. I saw a guy who everything was against him in the neighborhood as far as, I mean, we play street cred off like it's stupid, like it's something that's so shallow. Why would you want to do that? But when you're surrounded by every peer in your neighborhood and everybody's not only saying that you're a sucker, you're a mama's boy, but even the girls are saying you're black and you're ugly. I mean, you're getting a guy who's criticized his whole life. He's going to do anything to be successful. And even doing all of that, he didn't, besides selling crack to a woman who was pregnant, he didn't even like do it for sneakers. He was just like, hey, I'm out here selling. We're going to make money. And he didn't really seem to have any hatred for anybody. He just said, I'm out here doing what I have to do to get paid.
It's not like he's running an elementary school. Okay? He's a crack dealer. His list, he doesn't have the rule list on the wall of morals to follow.
That's true.
And once he
had no hatred in his heart for people. He just sold them drugs and let his friend go to jail for him. And had children with women and cheated on them and abandoned those children.
I like the way, but see, you putting this into bullet points where if you saw it in the context of the film, there's more to it behind that story. I mean, you're kind of narrowing it down to like this conservative viewpoint of. And wait, hold on. It's like, so you see, it's not like he said, "Hey man, I'm gonna just not say anything and let you take the rap for me." His friend was like telling him, "Hey, look, man, you have something special. You have a talent, and if you can make it, perhaps all of us, you be a symbol for all of us to somehow get out of this." And he even wanted to take the rap for his friend. He said, "Look, I had the gun. I'm gonna go to jail." This is a scene where he ran from the police for selling drugs, and he threw a gun away. And he said, "Look, I'm guilty, so don't do that." And his friends insisted that he not do that.
I will kill you if you don't let me take the rap.
And it wasn't even like that. So you're trying to make him so ominous and villainous.
No, I didn't say he was saying he would kill the friend if he didn't take the rap. I'm saying the friend was like, "No, man, let me take this rap. Don't make me kill you to take this rap."
Don't even say that because you know that's not what his friend said. His friend said, "Hey, man, come on."
Corey, you're so passionate about
this. I know.
These are the jokes. I've seen you so motivated about
I really
something.
am because this is an area where a lot of people have misunderstood not only this music but this guy. And so when I see it being sold as this guy is just an insensitive crack dealer who's out just to get money, he really wasn't like that. I mean, he was a smart guy. He went out there to do what he had to do to gain the respect of his peers, but not at something very dangerous. And look, I'm talking about the movie. I never hung out with the guy. He could have been kicking kittens while he was selling crack. You know, I don't
That
know.
would be the end of the story.
Exactly.
For me. That would, no,
You know,
sorry, game over. No bio for you, Big.
He could have been biting puppies' heads off. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I know we're going along with this. I'm just saying.
Wait, one thing I will say, I mean, for anybody who goes like, "Oh, Leon, you just don't like hip hop." When that Tupac documentary saw, I was fascinated by that. I thought that was awesome. I was like, man, I always kind of liked Tupac, but now I'm really into this. I see what it's all about. And with this biopic, even though I liked it, I mean, you think I didn't like it, but I did. But I still like him, the man himself. I was just like, don't see the fascination.
So let me ask you guys something. I'm a white guy. I've never listened to Big E in my life. Couldn't pick a Big E song out of a hat from white artists. I know nothing about this guy. Should I see this fucking movie?
It depends. I mean, look, Ray and Walk the Line, they were about legendary figures that were around a lot longer. And so
but they were also really good. They were really well done. Is this worth seeing?
I would say this much, and I can sum it down to this: if you were just so opposed to hip hop, because it's more I know I'm not talking about you. I'm saying
no. I know
hip hop is a little more polarizing than Ray Charles music at this point, and even maybe Johnny Cash. It requires a strong reaction. So therefore, this movie you'll either like it based on your opinion of hip hop, or you won't be interested to the point where you might even say, I really dislike it.
Because what I'm hearing is you have to have an interest in this material in order to find this movie interesting at all. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's not what I'm saying, because while I didn't have a strong interest, I still like the movie. It's a small movie. It's not as big as those. It's not as competently done, and yet you appreciate it on the level of, like, you know, for the resources they had, what they were able to do with it. And if nothing else can sell you on it, man, it's got two of the hottest chicks I've ever seen.
That's one. I was about to say, if there's one thing we can agree on,
that girl who's Lil'Kim, oh my god,
I got a name up here, man.
It's Notorious. Naughton, yeah.
And that girl, they got a nude scene with her on top of that big motherfucker, man.
It was the hottest thing I've ever seen.
And Lil'Kim isn't that good looking to begin with.
No, she's kind of sleazy.
She got a body. I won't look at her face. And in this movie, there's a scene. Now, granted, it's like looking at a naked chick kind of ride a beached well. But
it is. but you do have a feeling like, there. Well, you can't help but go like, well, man, if he can get in there, I know I got a shot.
He's got a rap.
That's the appeal of Ron Jeremy.
Rap, a rat cap nap, step, and a lap.
Damn.
See?
Leon, your size is too tight. I'll take my chain off to you. But no,
I am way too white for this review.
I know you guys just kind of pull back and like, these poor Negroes.
Well, you guys are getting so excited. We're like, okay, well,
man,
I don't want to get shot. So
you don't understand.
Go over.
It's like two dorks arguing over Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I'm out of this shit. You know, it's like I've never read issue 243. I have no idea who appears in it. I cannot tell you what's going on.
And the other girl who played Faith Evans, man,
Antonique Smith.
That girl was fine, man.
You should have seen her in real life. I mean, really, when I was at the press junket and like it was like everybody else would just get up and leave, but she really made a beeline over to me to come and talk to me, and I was just like,
Leon, what was up, man? Is there a story you ain't telling people?
Hey, man, I can't tell everybody everything.
Please, that's the other beached whale story I want to hear.
Did you tap it?
Please, a gentleman never reveals his.
At least not on the air.
Wait,
At
now,
least
hold
not
on
until
a
next
second.
week's
Hold on.
Leog.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
a woman that fine, if Leon tagged her, that motherfucker would be talking about it for weeks.
I have to tell somebody.
Tune into Leog 21 for the true story of what happened.
What my man means to say here is that a gentleman never reveals bullshit that didn't happen.
True. Very true.
But he can make up. I would have made a story up. Shit, what's she going to do? She going to come to the site and tell everybody it didn't happen?
I mean, you are a cartoon character.
Yeah, exactly.
Granted.
Yeah, he still got some of her ink on her ass. But, nah, man, I mean, he making a good point here. He said, really, it's a movie that's not done with that big of a budget, and that's why it's getting kind of a smaller release, but it's what I admired about it. They were able to make a movie that, to me, rivaled Ray or Walk the Line or any other biopic out there about some dead musician, and they made it comparable to those, if not somewhat, like I said, for me, somewhat better. The guy who did this,
George Tillerman.
He did. I think this is probably the best thing he's done. He did
Barbershop.
He did
Barbershop 2.
Wait, no, that was
Oh, that's right.
Tim Story.
Tim Story. Never mind.
You're thinking of
he did
a Man of Honor.
Okay, he did Men of Honor. He did something else that was barbershop-ish. Soul Food.
Soul Food.
That was the one.
Yeah. So take those two movies and consider what he's done. So I think he's kind of grown. So I mean, look, let's just put it this way. I agree with you that this isn't a movie for everybody. Again, because the music itself is so polarizing. But if you're not a person who just totally shuts out that kind of music or hip hop and you can tolerate it, I think that you could probably just even like this movie.
You know, you say that, but there is hip hop I like. I just don't like the attitude. I don't like hip hop when it's gangster, when it's all like, hey, my dick is bigger than yours, and my neighborhood is bigger than yours, and I fuck your bitches, and I shoot your car. Who gives a shit? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, but mine is though.
Well, yeah, but you don't need to shout about it because it's self-evident.
Yeah,
True.
but you know, if they made a comic book about it, you'd speak at length for 2 hours about it.
So what is with you in the comic age
I know,
today?
what's all the hating on
Sit
comic books?
down.
Oh, see, it's starting. You're talking about the black people over here. It comes.
Yeah, but we're north and south.
Yeah,
East and west. That's
nerd
very
wars.
mature.
Yeah, it's East Coast, West Coast nerds going over here. So, but no, I understand. You can see you one of those people who I would say you wouldn't like it. I know you would.
I probably wouldn't like it. You're
So
right.
you-
Because I don't identify with that. I'm like, just because everyone around you is a dick is no excuse for you to be a dick too. Just leave.
Dick meaning black.
No, I mean a dude who shoots people because they look at your girlfriend. I mean, come on. These are not mature individuals we're talking about.
Keep in
here.
mind, like
These are not grown-ups.
and that is the point. These are people who had like really no fathers around them. And when Biggie Smalls actually had a father figure or a male figure in his life that was able to guide him, he kind of woke up a little bit. I mean, it's a compelling story about people who come from that atmosphere.
But what about Raj from what's the show?
What's Happening?
From
What's Happening Now?
Yeah, he had a dad who was always running around and hustling
Raj.
and never there.
Hey, Raj.
And he grew up to be a writer.
Yeah, he's the black version of Carlisle, though. He wasn't going to do anything.
So what do you guys rate this?
Listen, I'm a fan of B.I.G., so I'm closer to this film than someone who isn't. It shed some truth and light on the fight between him and Tupac, and I thought Jamal Willard, who played Biggie, did a good job, had a lot of charisma, as did the rest of the cast, including Angela Bassett. Because hip-hop is such a polarizing type of music, this definitely isn't for everyone, but for the people who are fans of Biggie and of hip-hop, this is an enjoyable film, so I'm going to give it full price.
That's what I expected. But no, only because somebody who really into I can say if you're really into gangster rap and the whole hip hop scene, yeah, this would be a full price movie to you. And if you're not, or you like Cyrus, and which I am to a degree, where like, hey man, it's not like I don't like hip hop, but I don't like the attitude. It's just too much. Matter of fact, at this age, I don't like nothing with an attitude. It's gonna be, I would say it's a rental because it's just a small movie. So I'm going to give it a matinee because I feel like between the two, it's somewhere in between.
And I see that. You got to keep in mind, I'm a big
Sure,
hip-hop head.
sure.
I like these guys. So.
Sure, I understand that.
And I understand where you're coming from. But fuck you anyway. What the
That's,
fuck?
I'm not coming to your neighborhood anyway. You
Yeah.
listen to whatever you want. Blow yourself up. See if I care.
Hey, now hold on. The guy who lives behind a liquor store really likes the Biggie Smalls.
And you know something? I like the way you make it sound like I live in a hard neighborhood, but that is the most bohemian liquor store.
Yeah, that's true. They sell Indian food and 200 varieties of
You
beer.
always do this. There's a beer store and a liquor store.
And the liquor store is still the most bourgeois bohemian liquor store
Yeah,
it is.
No, it's like in a bohemian town.
It's like-
it wins best liquor store and best beer
It's like-
store like every year. you
Yeah.
know?
It's like when I walk in that liquor store, they treat me like Biggie. Do you have it? Take it, man, take it.
The microphone murderer, mass mayhem maker. B.I.G is on the mic, call the Undertaker. Make an appointment and schedule an interview. Because you know what big man's about to do. 50 grand on go.
Hold on. What'd you say at the beginning of your rhyme? B.I.G.?
Biggie Smalls.